Hi friends, good week. How are you? I want to start with my personal apologies, my personal consultants about the disaster in Japan. Um, it's a worldwide disaster, and I really just feel terrible for what happened, and just cross my fingers and pray every day just for all this disaster to be to end as soon as possible, and we all could forget about it and continue our lives. I decided still to create this video despite the worldwide disaster that happened, as our lives continues, and we should continue and do and live our lives. So I do this weekly review, and this weekly review is for the week of 14th of March 2011. Last week was all about U.S. dollar correction, as you remember it, as we expected actually, as we expected on the previous weekly review. We talked about the possibility that the euro will drop down and retest 138.50 and maybe even 137.50. It did it during Thursday and Friday, and during Friday, despite of all that happened in Japan, the euro, actually the US dollar, lost its power. I really believe that in such situation with all this disaster and always going on in the Middle East, and the news from Saudi Arabia about their own problems, and all the speculations about oil in this world really cause difficulties on making decision about potential market trend. But still, after Friday, it looks like we are having now we have now the some more ideas about the next direction of the market. I would like to start with the U.S. dollar index analyzing, as I do on the last weeks. Well, actually, you remember that one, right? We talked about it, and we talked about the Marubus on the weekly chart that ended on the previous week. We talked about the possibility of a correction. We had a correction. We also actually still have difficulties to decide: is that the trend line, or is that the trend line that was already broken and retested? Right? The divergence is also here. I just want to remind you, divergence is still here, and make difficulties to decide what's going on next. Only time will tell, and we should follow the happening of the chart. It looks like the U.S. dollar will continue to lose power. It looks like, but again, let's see how the thing that happened in the market affect the market actually, so we can be clever and make good decisions. If I go to the daily chart, I could see that this divergence also took us for a correction. A correction was blocked on the resistance actually, and was blocked on the downtrend line that we can see here on the daily chart, right? So actually, from now on, we could expect for another down move. But again, let's see how the market begins and what it brings with the last news and the disasters worldwide. I want to go for first of all for the interesting pair dollar yen. Actually, after this disaster, the yen should go and and lose strength, but somehow the yen gather strength, and it looks right now like it's about to continue. First of all, this downtrend, this uptrend line, this triangle should be broken before we could talk about next down move. But as and also, sorry, this support line around 81. Right? The RSI and the stochastic and the MACD looks like very bearish now. The Bollinger Band also look very bearish now. As you can see, this down Bollinger Band begins to point down. But again, this pair will be affected very much with all happening in Japan and worldwide. So this is about the dollar yen, and this pair is good to watch as it looks like we are going down. What about the euro dollar? Well, we expected a down move, a correction actually. It didn't happen, and it blocked on the 20 moving average of the Bollinger Band from my expectation. And this actually, as we can see, this kind of engulfing here. Maybe it's not engulfing, but it's definitely a powerfully kicker up. It looks like the euro dollar will continue up. This was the daily chart. What about the weekly chart? The weekly chart actually, as we can see, provide us with some resistance over here as a kind of double top, right? Kind of double top. We see that the Bollinger Band begins to close, and it looks like the euro dollar will have difficulties to break the 140.50 level, which was blocked during the previous week high. During the beginning of the last week high during the Monday. The indicator is still positive, but let's see how the week begins. If we go to the 4-hour charts, so we can actually determine an entry point. We could see some kind of resistance over here, right, over these levels, and probably it will not be broken immediately. It should make some moves here, but then the Bollinger Band should be opened up, and we should see another up move from the euro dollar. Well, actually, the expectations from the euro is to go and to reach this weekly downtrend line, which is around 132, 142, sorry, 143 even. Also, this is a resistance here, as you can see. Right? This is a resistance, 140 to 50. It's a weekly chart, so it's difficult to give and provide exactly point. It's between 142 and 143, that's for sure. So definitely a bullish view on about the euro dollar. Well, 137.50, or to be more correct, 137.40. This level provided a strong support, and we saw the block. What about the British pound? Actually, the British pound blocked on 160 once again, could not break it. 163 is a serious level to be tested, to be broken before we could talk about the up move. But as I've expected from a few weeks ago, as you might remember, I say that probably we will see some sideways moves now for the British pound. As we can see, there is a hidden divergence here on the MACD histogram, and we have this kind of hammer here on the last day. So we can go over the 4-hour chart, and let's see how we can join this trend line, this up expected move. Sorry, we have this downtrend line. It probably is going to be retested at the beginning of the week. Then we should see how the prices will act here. I will not be surprised if we will see from here, from this point, a down move again. Maybe another double bottom here. Maybe just a correction for this up move again to 160 maybe, and then a break of the line. Actually, the break of the line should provide us with the signal to buy. We can see that also the RSI has a downtrend line here that should be actually respected, and also the stochastic, as you can see here. Also, okay, so it should be respected actually before we could jump in on the British pound, but it does look bullish with all the indicators from long terms. The weekly chart actually, well, divergence is here, but you see the 160 being a critical support. Once it breaks the 160, it will definitely continue down, and the 154 could be target actually. So, but first, let's see a breakdown of 160 if we want to talk about the long down move. What about the Other pairs such as Australian dollar, interesting pair, definitely. I've been watching for a breakdown. It almost did it during Thursday, but retraced up during Friday immediately. Still not a buy sign, but mark this resistance 102, 102.50, a close above, and a break of this resistance, and even a break of this resistance on the RSI as well, right? Combined with this downtrend line of the RSI could provide us a buy signal. The investors are in and they're expecting 107 to be reached. They not said why, when. It probably will not happen during the next 1 to 3 weeks. It will happen during the next months, but this is the expectations actually. So very bullish for this pair once it breaks the 102.50, which is critical resistance. What a New Zealandian dollar? Well, very bullish sign after the block on 073.50, the level I've been talking about a long time now. Mark this downtrend line, a break above, and a retest could provide us with a long uptrend opportunity, which when 082 would be target actually from the investors as well. Okay, so watch this pair. I watch it very interesting. A break above this downtrend line on the daily chart and retest, the test it would provide a signal to buy with a stop, of course, below this support line, which is 073.50. This is about the New Zealand. What about the US dollar Canadian? Still early. I do expect this downtrend line to be broken first before we could talk about change of direction. As long as it doesn't happen, we should respect this weekly butterfly pattern that could make retest to 098 to 096 to 096.50, sorry, when the lowest price is expected it could be 093.70. Right? So this range also will follow us during the next weeks. Before we could talk about the long move, we should first see the break of this downtrend line. The dollar franc, you can see it. You don't have actually to be genius to understand it. This is a flag pattern. A breakdown of this flag pattern and a break of the last low 092 should lead and could definitely easily lead for a move down all the way to 090 or maybe even 088.50, which is the investor's target. Right? The weekly chart is still bullish and will probably provide soon some stop here. Okay, but it could, as I said, it could go and create this wedge and or this channel down all the way here to 090 or maybe even a little lower around 088.50. So definitely interesting thing, interesting pair to follow. And for the break up, I would like to see the 094 level to be broken, which is this resistance as well. Well, that's about the majors. Well, now about some of interesting crosses. The Euro British Pound. It looks like this pair is going to test the level about 096.50, 097, which is the highest level of this downtrend line, and also the upper boundary of the Bollinger Band. It should be blocked there. That on the daily chart we could see only the beginning of a daily divergence of the histogram. It should little continue up. It still has a critical resistance here, as you can see, 086.50. Well, if it breaks it, well, the next resistance will move to here, which is also will probably be this line, right? This line as well here, as you can see. Okay, this could be the mate of this line. So actually, we are getting closer and closer for the stop and the block of the Euro British Pound. Once again, at the strengths. For down move, for a long run down move, it's better to follow this the break of this uptrend line that's been created actually suddenly, and the break of the RSI uptrend line. We can see a full convergence between the indicators and the chart. Prices are going up. We should respect this resistance of 86.50. It could provide with a correction down again to the downtrend line, short correction actually. There is a divergence on the 4-hour chart, so definitely interesting situation to follow. This is the Euro British pound. Now I want to go for the indices and the commodities we followed for the last week, and let's see what's going on there. Well, I want to start with the gold. Right, the gold broke this uptrend line during this week, and now it looks like it is creating some interesting down channel. I do believe that the gold could go a little lower, maybe to 400. Maybe even if this will be little bigger, maybe it could also provide us with a move to 370. But let's see how this week begins. As on the daily chart, we could see a block, right? A block on the 20 moving average of the Bollinger Band during the uptrend line. So it could easily provide a double top and then begin a down move. So let's see how do we begin. I'm neutral as for now. As for the down move, I want to see this support line to be broken, of course, which is the 20 moving average of the daily chart that you saw before. The silver, the same situation as on the US dollar. We have this uptrend line. We have this uptrend line. It could provide us with more uptrend, but still look for this histogram, right? It's only a question of time for a big serious correction. What about the indices? Well, I'm surprised. I must be honest. The down move is here, right? It began. The correction happened. But watch this, friends. Right? Despite of all the things happening in the world, it could not break this support line around one. I'm talking about the S&P 500, 112.90, and it reversed up again. It looks like a flag is being created here, right? Some flag pattern is being created here. It looks like we have a bullish divergence also. I don't know why really. Financially, I don't find any proof for this up move, but we have to respect the price action, and the price action looks like it wants to go a little higher for another, maybe another last. Right? Once this support, as I showed you before, will be broken and we'll see close below, it will provide us with a long run down all the way to the critical support next support around 1220. A break above this flag could provide us with a long move. The same about all the indices, all the rest indices. It begins the down move, but the support have been respected. As we saw, they reached the 20 moving average of the Bollinger Band, and now we have to see how the prices continue from here. The down pressure of the divergence is still powerful, but we have to see how the 20 moving average, the weekly 20 moving average of most of the indices actually act. Um, I am still bearish mainly because of the divergence and this bearish pattern that have been created here on the weekly chart, right? It's a weekly chart, so it could take months until we see that move. Okay, it could also move little higher, maybe to 1365, and then begin. And again, I'm talking about the S&P as it was the one that created the harmonical bearish crash. Well, that's all, friends, uh, about the indices and the major pairs. Also, interesting thing to follow is the oil. Many speculations there, but look for a block here around 89, 88 maybe. This is the 20 moving average of the daily chart of the Bollinger, and we could see another up move from this point. So definitely a lot to follow for the next week. I'm concentrated on the euro dollar as it could provide the interesting thing. The euro British pound was the critical level, dollar Canadian, Australian, dollar yen, the majors actually, and of course the gold and the silver, which provide interesting beginning. Thank you very much for your time, friends. I want once again to share my concerns with all the Japanese friends, um, and just want to wish that we will never, never experience things like that again. Thank you very much for your time. I wish you a healthy, peaceful, great week. Thank you for your time, Vladimir.